The NCAA should pay their college athletes for their contributions to the collegiate programs. Wayne Dyer, author and motivational speaker, once said, "Successful people make money. It's not that people who make money are successful, but successful people attract money. They bring success to what they do." Our first reason the NCAA should pay their athletes is because it would motivate athletes to play better. Second, college athletes should be paid because it would give them more money towards their higher classes they take and their school supplies. Finally, college athletes should be paid because they provide entertainment for millions of viewers. After reviewing these three arguments, we hope you consider that college athletes should be paid for their contributions to their teams. College athletes should be paid because it would motivate them to play harder for their teams. According to ESPN, LeBron James scores 26 points on average per game. Tyler Harvey from the NCAA scores 23 points on average per game. This shows that college athletes can play on the level of a professional player. Therefore, they should be paid because that would boost their motivation to play even better. The NCAA stated that athletes who are stressed between school and their sport have had a decrease in performance level. If student athletes were paid, it would boost their motivation to work harder towards their sport. Paying athletes will help with motivation towards the sport, but the money can also help towards the higher classes they take too.
The motivation college athletes gain can also go towards their classes, if they take any. College athletes should be paid for their sport so they can be provided with a better education. Based on my research and the article, Cost of Education for a Student, with the cost of books, tuition, and other expenses, the average cost of 1 year in college is $24,447. Unfortunately, the price rises extremely since most college athletes spend 5 years in college. So if they were to take a class, the cost of tuition and other expenses would be $107,235. In Sarah Gainham's article, she states that some college athletes do not have a solid education. In fact, one athlete she talked to read like a 5th grader. It is crucial that our athletes are educated, but most of them cannot afford it since they work on their sports constantly, which means they can't get a job to pay for the classes and that they may want to take. College athletes should be paid for their sport so they can be provided with a better education.
On top of using the money, athletes should get paid to pay for their classes over each semester. They are also considered by us and others as great entertainers for millions across the United States. Thinking about basketball specifically, these tournaments are gold mines for colleges and TV networks alike. As according to the NCAA, the 2013 NCAA men's basketball tournament had racked up around 10.7 million views across the United States, about 11% increase in views in the last year's tournament, which just proves that college sports has gotten more popular and racks up about the same amount of views from any professional team. From the info I got from the NBA, the 2013 NBA championship racked up around 28.2 million views, and they get paid outrageously. 28.2 million may seem like a lot compared to 10.7 million. However, we must remember that they are college players. So for them, 10.7 million is about the equivalent to 28.2 million. Look, the reason why most TV providers like DirecTV stay in business is because of TV networks like DirecTV have their NFL sports tickets and MLB extra innings pass respectively. NCAA has the same appeal with the almost equivalent amount of views, including especially March Madness, which even if you're not a sports fan, you most likely watch it. It's the equivalent to the Super Bowl and even NBA championships. I should know because my mom and sister are not sports fans, but it is a sight to see them watch those games. So if those professionals get paid and get the almost equivalent views as college players, then why don't those hardworking college players get a cut too?
College athletes make huge contributions to their schools. No one can argue with that. but they already receive huge benefits for these contributions. Smaller universities don't have the funds to pay smaller schools. Or smaller universities don't have the funds to pay most college athletes. If they were getting paid, their grades will probably suffer because they'll be thinking too much about sports and getting paid. Finally, college athletes already receive benefits from playing sports because you're playing for a college and you're receiving like scholarships and other benefits.
Aren't we already paying athletes even when they don't deserve it? Almost all players don't perform really well in the classroom, so they're basically getting a free education. Second, we hear a lot about outstanding athletes getting behind in classes, so we are providing them with a free ride. Smiling universities don't have the funds to pay athletes. Smiling universities won't be able to pay all athletes. Some universities have to shut down due to the lack of money. Without the athletic program, universities would look weak and not as good. And third, if they are getting paid, then they won't focus on school. If athletes are getting paid, they won't focus on school. They will only focus on the money. Because if you're getting paid, then what's the point in learning?